Welcome back for another Sunday 6 gate, everybody, where the randomly selected entry requirement for the week is TRX-4 axles. And as this week's entry is more of a marathon than a track meet, let's get straight into it and take our look at the competitors for the week, them being the TRX-4 Defender Ironsides, the TRX-4 Sport with a 2-speed that is Daphne, the does have TRX-4 axles Tranquish, and rounding out the group, the formerly a Defender Jolly Green. We're going to take a quick overview of the course. The hosting section for the week is Savage. It is the Savage Lands. And I'm not going to go too in-depth onto the gate layout or any of the dimensions, as if you go all the way through this, you're going to get to see all of the competitors run it twice. So, you'll definitely get an idea. I will point out at this point that the marked dimensions in between gates, like it says 44 inches, you're pretty much going to have to take a longer line than that to get from one gate to the other. So I just did sort of as the crows would fly distances, and I had not put end markers down there for the finish gate. They're in there. Anyway, real quick, onto the scoring. Unchanged. Each competitor gets 2 runs. Only the lowest scoring run counts. A reverse is 2 points, a gate hit is 7, and a rollover is 10. This week's gates are Crawler Canyon modified, 15 inches. And as always, there are no gate points, so a perfect score is 0. Here are the competitors of the day, lined up and ready for their time at the spinny wheel. And away we spin. Round and round she goes, and coming to a stop on the Tranquish. So first out on the course, which is particularly savage this week, definitely living up to its name, is the VRX 410 Pro R Ultra. Tranquish, the most gear reducted, whichever it is. It's got a 94.5 to 1 final. Hey, Gage. 2850 kV slate in there on 4S, so it can go real slow. But thanks to having 4S, it can go pretty fast too if it needs to. The Tranquish here, employing every tool at his disposal in an effort to, did not strike the gate marker there on the way down. So is probably gonna use some dig to pull it back around and take another shot at gate 2. Little high line there for the dig, coming around pretty nicely. This is almost vertical here. Pretty easy to pass though on a 15-inch gate width. The Tranquish opting for a very aggressive line, as gate 3 here is kind of like, see, he's fully perpendicular here. It's going to be tough even with those real little baby bumpers. It's going to be tough to get that front end up over there. Oh, and that axle pop, you can see a little wang dangle there. We've had an issue. We've both had a rod end pull full out, and that allowed the drive shaft to drop out, which is going to result in the Tranquish pulling the first ever run DNF in the 6 gate. So we are back to the spinner, and it is going to land on Daphne the Sport, up second. I don't think Daphne has done any competitive rounds since the end of the raid. So probably a little rust on there. Also has a setup that's been tinkered with, let's say, particularly in the tire area. Apologies for the gentleman who brings his hot rod. It's some sort of coupe, like a late 60s coupe. And Sunday is the day that he brings it out of the garage and warms it up and drives down the street. I don't know, maybe he goes to In-N-Out or something, but he drives down the street and then he comes home and he puts it away back in the garage, and then we don't hear it again until the next Sunday. So it sounds kind of like there's a loud factory running in the background. Daphne is going for a particularly high line there and has a front wheel hooked up. There's a little reverse. First reverse we've gotten to see. And there's a second one. But Daphne had cleared gate 2. This might be some sort of a big brain maneuver here, as her roll down pretty much lined up for gate 3, not on the perpendicular, but on pretty much a straight line there, but has now gotten a little bit mired in, trying to pull a tire up over, but also doesn't want to snap anything in the back end. Clean through the gate. I mean, I guess if anything, the hot rod noise fill in the background, you'd be able to tell if the clips were edited. Oh, there's our first gate hit. Because, I mean, in a way, and onto the wheels, Daphne is sort of unintentionally becoming the guinea pig that has to run out first and test things, because the Tranquish barely made it to gate 3 and broke. He will undoubtedly see the techs get put back together. Should be a pretty quick fix, and be back out on the course for his second run. Daphne trying to escape off camera there, using a large reverse, and still didn't 100% line up correctly for gate 6. So is going to slide the nose down a little, opt to employ one tiny final bit of reverse to keep a tire off that last gate. Safely through gate 6 and across the line. That leaves just 2 contestants for the spinner. Oh, the hot rod is out of the garage, and it is Ironsides up next to last. We will see if he's got a taste for victory after his, and still to me, unexpected victory in the big body battle, which he definitely punched above his weight in that one. I had mentioned in the interim the ESC70 installed in here. He has agreed to be the test platform for it, and it was non-stop trouble today. Like, oh my goodness. I will try to point out the spots if I can catch him in video. It took 3 power cycles to get it to move. Like, I got the start tones and it powered up, but wouldn't move. Like, it just had steering. So I powered it off, and then there were no start tones, and it powered up, but there was no throttle again. And then finally, like, I wiggled the steering, and the speed control went like dee-dee-dee, and then I had throttle. I was genuinely afraid to turn it off. I definitely got a servo glitch on more than one occasion, where the front end would kind of go like twitch back and forth. I definitely experienced the I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's almost like it's like cogging on a brushed motor. The whatever the active drag brake is, where the spur gets the like it did that several times. So it was not a remarkable day with the EAC70, which again is particularly concerning because between the time that Ironsides ran in the big body battle and today, I did nothing. The only difference was he got a fresh battery installed. That's it. Like, I got radically different performance outcomes just from one use to the next, which, above anything else, ignoring the flaws with the app, ignoring the problems that have been had and will be had with the firmware, like, there's no reason whatsoever that it should behave differently today than it did a few days ago. I keep thinking about moving that associated servo to another rig. I don't know if its amp draw is too high for the ESC70. I don't know what it is, but that's a servo that's rated at, like, I think it's 201 ounces of torque, and it acts like 500 because it will absolutely hold those front wheels. And the steering angle on this guy is outstanding. I also was, of all things, most surprised that I didn't manage to break a 3D printed bumper. Those bumpers are just PLA, and they were getting absolutely slammed into stuff. Ironsides across the line and wasting no time. Jolly Green pulling right up to the start finish, and he is not waiting. He is here to do work. As like Daphne the Sport, I think this is the first competitive event Jolly Green has been in since the finish of the raid, and he is ready. There's a AGFRC SC75 in here, which is apparently more than enough torque on 3S Direct. As you know, these are all TRX-4 axles across the board, so the steering angle should be close, right? Of the four, I would say Jolly Green, maybe it's the tire? I don't know what it is specifically, but he really seems like he has the best steer angle. I still contend that hindsight being 2020, the purchase of a Hobbywing Axe 550 3300 kilovolt it's too much. It's way that amount of ruckus. That's first gear. So we have another instance of Gate 2 proving to be quite the double-edged sword, because he cleared that gate cleanly, fell and landed on his wheels. So, I mean, that's a clean gate. The gate is, the way I consider it, is the gate is dead once it's cleared or struck while clearing. Like, if a rig just plows a gate that it hasn't cleared, then it's going to get reset. But every time we've had a gate strike so far, it's been usually like a rear wheel clips it. So it hasn't been an issue yet. Rear bumper really just getting there. I can't say a bad word about the low speed control of the 3300. I mean, I can knuckle down, I guess, and put a 9-tooth pinion in there, much as I don't. Well, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. That's why I haven't. The axe has a 5mm shaft, so it's running the smallest pinion you can run on a 5mm shaft. The part of me that throws around money without even counting it just says, you need to get something bigger and or heavier. I mean, I think that Axe 3300 is probably, I mean, it needs 6 wheels, doesn't it? Like, that system needs to go in a TRX-6. I guess I'll have to get one. That closes out the first runs. We're now going into the second run for everybody. And well, I mean, actually, this is kind of the first run for the Tranquish, as that first run didn't even make it to gate 3. He got less than 1/3 of the course completed. Using dig as well he should. I mean, the only vehicle in the field with dig. All the others have 2 speeds. Huh. That low speed is real low. The controllability of the Tranquish is remarkable, and the landmines have proved to be pretty much the perfect tire. Oh, oh, that is unfortunate. Like, we went to the judges, and due to the sort of diagonal staggering of the gates, he hadn't fully cleared the right-hand gate. So that was a gate strike. Though he had, you know, like, it wasn't a reverse. I mean, no gate strike is deliberate, I don't think, but, like, being sure to go wide of the start-finish, coming around up under gate 3, does definitely not want to get into the same position that he put himself in last time. This is a very high grip surface. So aside, but it's also a very high grip surface, meaning tires grip well, but so does everything else. So when a pumpkin gets snagged up, or you're unfortunate enough to get a wheel in a slot like what's happening right here, opts for that reverse, going far wide of the right gate, is trying to claw it up. Pretty good application of dig there. Dig really does prove to be a substitute for reverse the lion's share of the time. Well more than half the time. It's having some real problems here. And just moved a slab that probably weighs 40 pounds, which is kind of goes towards explaining how it snapped a... Okay, so what happened there was, I think that element rod end was used, like it had been threaded into something before, because upon inspection, when the rod pulled, it just pulled all the threads clean out, like it was smooth on the inside. So there was definitely some torque on that rod end, and we should all be thankful here that's what broke. Like, when that thing gave, it was the perfect slipper clutch, and he kicks another rock loose, as it saved the whole drivetrain, I think. A little reverse there, as he had dropped a wheel into the hole that he himself had made. So the Tranquish, obviously, with that big gear reduction, is putting down a pretty significant amount of torque as he's throwing chunks of asphalt around, and that is that's his chunk of asphalt now. So that is something to dodge on the way out. Kind of finding that in terms of dig usage with the Tranquish, the little throttle bump digs seem to work the best. A steady state dig, which works on some others, doesn't work really well with this guy. He needs some little pop, 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 and a little gradual crossing the line. We're just going to keep things rolling right along, moving into Daphne's second run. So strange. Like, 3 of these rigs have the same gearbox in them, and I think they all sound different. Daphne has gone through a number of motors, 3 or 4, I want to say, and they've all kind of had that tractor sound to them, so not 100% sure there. The canyon trails continue to, not to overuse a phrase, but punch above their weight, as, I mean, they are without question the most inexpensive tires out here. And, you know, get rid of those foams, absolutely get rid of those glue-on plastics. Put these things on some heavy wheels and cut them up real good. Like I say, it's hair buns in there. That is properly stuck. Probably should have taken a bigger reverse to get a better line in there, because managed to get that wheel kind of stuck in the same spot again. Having a real tough time. This transition here, entering up into gate 3, gave pretty much everybody fits. Daphne doing a real nice job pushing the nose back down there, but goes just straight over the top of the gate there. That wasn't even a strike, that was just a straight run over, but clears it. So now its line is a little bit off to really get a clean, clear shot. At gate 4 has got the middle just bellied up, but doesn't want to turn that driver's side front tire down. Manages to push it up. Has to take a little reverse, trying to stay off both gates, but strikes that lower gate anyway. Similar to the performance of Argentum the Phoenix a few weeks back. I mean, it really looks like a case of nerves, I think. Daphne went after it and definitely climbed the tougher sections as capably, but had some issues with reverses, and had, I think, if memory serves, had more issues with gates than anyone else. So I don't think it was anything about tire. You see, going real wide right there. I don't know why that didn't turn in more. Coming back around pretty straight and easy, and still like completely high centered. Does not want to throw a reverse in here this close to the end. Doesn't want to get too bold, and moves it across the line. That'll move us straight over to next up. Next to last, good old Ironsides himself. Seeing if he can clean this one again. Did pretty well on the first run. We haven't been showing the scorecards. We're doing sort of a no spoilers thing this week. We'll do a full score breakdown at the end. see if people can follow along and see who is doing the best. Because as these are being run, I know I've mentioned before, I have no idea. Oh, you could hear the right there. So he has already fouled the gate, but does not want to pull a rollover. Alright. In, come on. There we go. So, that was a rough attempt at that gate. And he got beat up a little in an effort to get out of there without pulling a rollover. Pulling a rollover in any run, as you know, we're only talking 6 gates and there's no points to the gates. So a rollover in a run is pretty much that's death for that run. That run is 99% chance that run is not going to count for score. Took it real tight there. Through 4, and then just comes off the bottom too quickly, and again, that's the magical power of the TRX-4 Defender is the ability to what I call the Traxxas tornado, or hurricane itself back onto its wheels. I mean, I have others that if they're on their side, that's it. That's all she wrote. If they get on their side, they are fully turtled. But something about that Defender shell, because no matter what wheels, tires, whatever has been on Ironsides, he's always been able to tornado himself out of trouble. Keeping it real slow here. 35 turn in there, which on the 2-speed makes the low proper low. Cross the line. That leaves just 1 to go, and we'll find out who's going to win this thing. Jolly Green came out in run 1 like he had something to prove, and I think did pretty well overall. We will see if that manages to hold here on the second run. As much as I think still, and will continue to think, that the 3300 is too much motor, that low speed control still, like this rig will go so fast, but can also go so slow. The problem is, the fast is unusably fast with the lowest possible gearing that I can put in this thing. And Traxxas portals offer quite an amount of gear reduction. Oh, he's going for a Daphne maneuver here. Gate 2 is cleared and rolls it out. So, employing the Daphne maneuver there, roll yourself after a gate back onto your wheels so that you can continue on taking the shortest line. The front bumper might be beginning to sound more scrapey. At this point, both the mounts and the stinger are loose. So the front bumper has definitely got some flop to it. I did neglect to check the rear bumper after this was done, but the front bumper actually had quite a bit of deflection in it by this point. Like it was flopping around. It looks like Jolly Green has really been managing to use his weight to good effect. There you can hear a nice burst of throttle. Brings it around quickly. I think of this quad pack, he's the only one that can really break wheels loose in low. The Tranquish on 4S can get a little bit of wheel spin, but Jolly Green can really break it loose. Does not want to use a reverse here, and the rear is pretty badly stuck, but somehow manages to pop up out of that. So again, the 3300. Is it too fast? Probably. But does it give you just an unbelievable amount of torque? And oh, but again, and that also on his side, I had to put it into super slow-mo. It wasn't a reverse. It was because it was forward, and you're looking at the wheels from the upside down, basically. Anyway, smoothly through gate 6 and across the line, and we will try to get through the tallying of the scores as quickly as possible here. If you will remember, the Tranquish DNF'd on his first run due to these shenanigans. That was repaired fairly quickly, so a DNF on run 1 for the Tranquish. Daphne did not do remarkably well on her first run. That is 12 points for 6 reverses, 1 gate, for a total of 19. But if the guy that ran before you DNF'd, 19 points puts you in first place for the moment, first out of 2. Then Ironsides ran his first run and did really quite well. 2 reverses for 4 points and nothing else, so a total of 4. Putting Ironsides fairly comfortably into the lead for the moment. Jolly Green came out and did fairly well for his first run. 2 reverses and 1 gate for a total of 11 points, which would put him pretty comfortably in second place after the first round. Ironsides in first, Jolly Green in second, Daphne in third, and the Tranquish sitting on that DNF. But as you know, we only keep the lowest scoring run. So let's see how the competitors did in their second try around. The Tranquish repeated Jolly Green's effort from run 1 with 2 reverses and 1 gate for a total of 11, which gives us a sort of provisional tie for second at the moment. And we've never had a tie, so if it stays a tie, we'll have to see what happens. Daphne came out on her second run and was unable to improve on her first run score. So the 22 will not stick. It will be erased. The 19 will stand. Daphne not looking great at the moment. Ironsides came out in run 2, also unable to improve on his run 1 performance. So that 9 will not replace the 4. That will be canceled out, leaving Ironsides at the moment in first place, a 2-way tie for second. Daphne in third. We will just have to see what Jolly Green did on his final run. And this is what he did. I watched it more than once. We pored over the footage in an attempt to find something, because this might be the first time that it's happened in a 6 gate. Jolly Green with a perfect 0. So a 0 definitely beats an 11, giving Jolly Green first place among the group. And there is your tier of finishers. Completely incidental in how they ended up placed for that photo, but they got unintentionally podiumed. So there's our winner for the day, sitting up at the top. And I would just like to make one last little mention of that 3300. See, this is pretty slow, and Jolly Green can actually go even slower than this, but this is acceptably slow. And then what we'll do is we'll shift that into second. Yeah, like what is that? Like, what was I thinking? That's not fast for a rock crawler. That's like if you had a buggy it would jump better than that, and that would still be pretty fast. So get out your chicken dinner because you are the winner. Congratulations, Jolly Green, for winning another Sunday Six Gate. And thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you turn in next week for the next one.